Welcome back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here, and I'm bringing you another cricket-ish reaction today. And I'm excited for you to join me on this because I'm going to start a journey here. And hopefully, if you want me to continue with this journey, I'll continue to finish the journey. Or as much as I can before, maybe some copyright issues stop me from doing so. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you know exactly what I'm reacting to and what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Bodyline. Bodyline is 1984 television miniseries with Hugo Weaving as Douglas Jardine and Gary Sweet as the Donald Bradman. And this is a miniseries which many consider to be very historically accurate about the 1932-1933 English Ashes cricket tour of Australia. The Ashes, that's right. The title refers to the bodyline cricketing tactic, also known as a fast leg theory, devised by the English cricket team during that Ashes tour. I've heard a lot about this a while ago, a long time ago. Joey and I reacted to the trailer for this miniseries. And because of a great subscriber, viewer, fan, and friend of the channel, Nick H., I have all episodes of the miniseries. Now, Nick H. also provided us with this sweet AFL ball that I have already in the case here for you, Nick. And you can't see it, but it's in every single video right above my head right here, right above the cricket bat. I have a shelf for it and the case right here, and it's up there, and it enjoys watching some cricket with me as well. So I appreciate the gifts, I appreciate the series here, and I appreciate you being patient as I finally react to each episode. If you're excited for each of my reaction, please let me know in the comment section below. Go ahead and share with your friends. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done any of that yet, please do that for me. It really helps me out. Hit the notification bell as well. And I'm ready to jump into this. I'm excited for this. I know a little bit about the bodyline tactic, and I'm excited for the miniseries. Again, Hugo Weaving, I mean, come on. V for Vendetta. You gotta be kidding me. So many different things. Plays an elf, for crying out loud, if you're not aware. But today, he plays Mr. Jardine. So, let's go ahead and start episode 1 right now. There he is. Young Hugo Weaving. I mean, young. I hear Gary's very sweet to people. John Gray, he looks familiar. Actor. Like masterpiece theater type music here. Oh. Ironmonger. That's somebody's name? Oh my gosh. That was right in the cheek.
It's a time that's gone now, fading from our memory. But what a time it was, a time of empire. A time that saw 3 million Englishmen tumble out of their cottages and tenements, their barracks and palaces to colonize the world. Not before or since has any country embraced a craze the way the British embraced their empire. Believing above all that God was an Englishman, they took their language, their democracy, their law to the very ends of the earth. And in the service of such an empire, there emerged men who would become legends. Dr. Livingstone on the shores of Lake Tanganyika, General Gordon martyred at Khartoum, Baden-Powell besieged at Mafeking. On and on they went, deeds of valor and glory beyond mere imagination. And together they helped to build the largest empire the world has ever seen. An empire in which 40 million Englishmen held sway over almost 1/3 of the world's population. An empire which at its height boasted more than 4 dominions, 8 protectorates, 40 possessions, and in the words of the Colonial Office, nearly all the isolated rocks and islands of all the oceans of the world. Was it any wonder that Cecil Rhodes could write, "To be born British is to win first prize in the lottery of life"?
Jeez.
Even so, in the final account, every empire is built on force. Every empire depends on conquest.
I've always found it
Every
amazing
empire is
that a
retained
small
only
country,
by
area-wise,
unwavering will.
can control so much of the world.
This is a story of that empire. A story of unwavering will. The story of three men. Harold Larwood,
Kind of a long intro.
English, the son of a coal miner born into poverty in Nuncargate, Nottinghamshire. Donald George Bradman, born and raised in the Australian bush, the man who became a hero to his nation. And Douglas Jardine, a child of the British Raj, born in India, educated in England, surrounded all his life by affluence and power.
He looks every bit of it right there with that smug face.
I do. These men came together in January 1933 in the small Australian city of Adelaide, that town of churches, there to do battle. They faced each other down 22 yards of carefully tended turf to play cricket, the hallowed game of empire.
Nice shoes, homie.
But suffer no illusion. In the guise of a game, this was as bitter as any war.
Ow!
It was to consume honor, tradition, and friendship. It was about a young nation, Australia, emerging at last from beneath England's shadow. It was about the empire breaking apart. To this day, Douglas Jardine remains the most hated man ever to set foot in Australia.
Wow.
They said he was dangerous, ruthless, a man obsessed. In time, his own country would reject him.
Jeez, burning the flag, disrespectful.
But the private man was far removed from the public image. He could be charming, loyal, affectionate. He knew fear, and he conquered it. He was a man who wanted to write his will across the sky and stars. I know because I loved him. To understand, you have to go back to that shining jewel of empire.
It's an interesting way to start it.
To his childhood.
Some great lines there,
The
but
year is 1909.
a little too much
The
there.
place, Bombay.
There we go.
The occasion, a gala ball celebrating young Douglas's birthday. But contrary to appearances, this is anything but a happy occasion. For within days, 9-year-old Douglas Jardine is going to leave home forever.
The Honourable Sir Weavers Randall Rogers, Registrar General, Rajasthan.
Rajasthan.
I got you a mongoose, but Mamma said gentlemen don't keep them. It's a boring old carling box.
So disappointed.
A sad time for you, Alice.
Yes.
And how are you bearing up?
No, not too badly. In public, anyway. Why don't you and Rachel run along? Rachel might like to see your presents.
Worst birthday ever.
I've had 9 years to prepare for this.
Poppycock. I don't believe any mother worthy of the name can prepare for it.
Perhaps not. But Malcolm says that only English schools produce English gentlemen.
Of course. And only English schools produce a modern scholar.
His Excellency, the Lord Howis.
Thank you, my lord.
Not at all, not at all.
How good of you to come.
I'm sure it will be a pleasure as always. Now, where's the guest of honor?
It reminds me of John Goodman
Douglas.
a little bit.
Lord Harris, may I present my son Douglas? Douglas, I'd like you to meet Lord Harris, the finest governor Bombay's ever had.
And what...
Ever had in Bombay?
It's my father's, sir. It's a harlequin cap. You wear it when you play cricket.
Oh, do you now? And do you know what it means?
It means that you've played cricket for Oxford, sir.
Yes, that's quite right. But it means more than that. It means that you're a member of the most honored class in England. It means that you're a leading player in the Empire's greatest game.
Did you have one, sir? Were you a cricketer?
I've played the odd social game.
Is that Carson from Downton Abbey? He looks familiar.
Not only did he captain England, he introduced cricket into India.
Well, one had to civilize the place somehow.
Oh my God.
Do you want a harlequin cap for yourself one day?
Yes, sir.
That's the spirit. There now. Happy birthday. Don't stand on ceremony. Go ahead and open it. Go on. Open it.
There you go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Douglas.
Oh, very good. Good shot, Master Douglas, sir. Ready, ready.
What have I told you about the late cut?
Keep the ball down.
And roll the wrists.
Oh! There you
What
go,
was that?
Dad.
That, my darling, was a 4.
I think it's time for
That was
stumps.
4.
Off to bed.
Nice. Ooh, I love it. Time for stumps. Mom can play too.
Good night, my darling.
Good night, Mother.
Now, that's a serious bow right there. No self-reflecting math where a bow is that big.
Now, don't forget, Horace Hill is a cricketing school. That's one of the reasons why we chose it, wasn't it? Most of the fellows there will play the game, and a new chap can win their respect and friendship by his ability with the bat. We know that, don't we? And by the way he plays the game. Now, once more, what did I tell you about a late cut?
Roll your wrists and keep the ball down.
Good boy. And Douglas, remember,
What, Father?
everything.
Jeez. It'd be so hard to send your kid off to boarding school. Are you kidding me? 9 years old? Right off to boarding school. See you in a year, kid, or 9 months. Jeez. Don't even go with him to make sure he gets to the school safe and sound.
And so, like thousands of boys
That would be
before
tough.
him, the sons of those who helped to build the empire, Douglas found himself alone in an alien world. Horace Hill, like most English public schools, believed that a gentleman's education was built not only on scholarship, but on discipline.
Smacked in the back of the head.
This is Douglas Jardi. He's from India. Your bed's at the end, eh, boy?
Looks like some lumpy beds.
What's his name?
Jardi.
Where's he from?
India.
What's his game?
Cricket.
And in the months
Oh,
that
they're gonna
followed,
beat him.
Douglas would learn little
Oh.
about any subject except loneliness. Even cricket, the game which he'd once loved, held no interest for him now. By the end of that first term at Horace Hill, it seemed that Douglas, far from being one of the Empire's elite, would be yet another of its victims. But then, just when the night had never seemed more lonely, Douglas learned, every ocean has its shore, every night its dawn.
I think I've caught you out. Which one of you would be Douglas Jardi? Ah, how do you do, Douglas? I knew your
His
father.
name was Andrew Lang, and had been a close friend of Douglas's grandparents. Though he was now over 70, he had no hesitation in inviting the young boy to spend the holidays with him in Scotland. In years to come, Douglas would say that it was a summer that changed his life. Apart from a gentle sense of humor, Andrew Lang was also blessed with a lively mind. He was a man whose interests
That's
knew
how I
no bounds.
always see
His
Scotland
passion was
portrayed.
That's good.
Always.
You
Movies,
have a
TV
bowler's
shows.
arm. But knowing
Maybe a
your
lighthouse
father, I
somewhere
get you even
nearby.
better with a bat. Did he ever tell you the secret of cricket?
No, sir.
Most people think it's just batting and bowling. You take that boy at school. He's twice your size. He thinks the secret is strength. Cricket's about none of those things. Cricket's about thinking. You don't bowl at the stumps or the bat. You study the batsman and you bowl at the man. Not at his body. You bowl at his mind, to his weaknesses. You see, Douglas, you don't bowl a man out. You think him out. Come on, I'll race you.
So you guys are always
It
saying
was a lesson Douglas would never forget.
baseball with brains.
With his spirit rekindled by Andrew Lane, Douglas returned to school anxious to put into practice the old man's advice. He took to the field with a newfound determination, for the first time revealing a talent which took both pupils and teachers by surprise.
4.
And as success followed success, so with it came the respect and friendship of his classmates. By the end of the season, he was the school's best batsman. The following year, the captain of the team. Quite an achievement at a school renowned as a cradle for some of England's greatest cricketers. By the time he left Horace Hill, graduating to one of England's great public schools, his reputation with the bat went before him. But that carefree summer, the summer of 1914, was engulfed by tragedy. They called it the war to end all wars. By 1919, the British Empire alone had sacrificed the lives of 1 million men. Nothing in the world would ever be the same again. And the years had wrought their changes in other ways. Douglas Jardine was tall and athletic now, almost aristocratic in appearance. His manner, forged by public schools and loneliness, was reserved. But behind it, there lay an amazing
They did not do a good job of matching the kid actor with the adult.
By the time his parents returned to live in England, Douglas was being hailed as one of the country's best college captains. But like so many colonial families at the time, the Jardines met again as strangers.
They haven't seen each other for that long? It's no longer your kid. What have you done for him?
You're so tall. More handsome than your father.
I should think so.
Thanks,
Captain
dear.
of Winchester.
Your father's so proud.
Thank you.
We both are. All those years ago, your father was right. I so wanted to keep you. But look at you. A gentleman, a fine education.
From what
It's
I
gonna
hear,
mess up his head.
you play cricket the way I wanted to. Douglas, the world is before you. Oxford next, the law, partnership in a good firm. I envy you.
There's no need for that. According to the head, if we don't beat Eton tomorrow, none of us will have a future.
Oh, good man. Well, we didn't travel 8,000 miles to see you lose.
Hey, Master's a tough customer.
Right. That's the bat you gave him in Bombay.
Good Lord.
My word.
Afternoon, Percy.
My respects, my lord.
Respect is not that young man's long suit.
Strangely dressed. Is it just affectation?
No, I don't think so. No, most people consider the captain of Surrey to be quite mad. Just thank God he didn't bring his damn banjo.
Oh, well.
How's that?
How's that? I love it. The dude with the chalkboard. Oh my goodness gracious, how far removed from that we are.
No, they're just changing over. Winchester's made a great start. Their captain's a very fine batsman. First man in, last man out. Now it's Eaton's turn to bat.
Jeez, that's a serious opener right there. Opener and finisher. Well, maybe not finisher in a test match, but still.
He's moving too far down his wicket. I'll warn him. Don't do that. Run him out.
But it's customary to give a warning.
Not on the village green now. Run him out.
Seriously. Gentleman's game, nothing. Get the win, baby. Man-cad!
He didn't give a warning.
They should have warned the batsman by showing him the ball before they ran him out.
Mrs. Jardi, you'll have to speak to David. Can't have that sort of thing.
Oh, even this guy. I love it. That's what I've been saying for how long now? Man-cat him. Have to show him the ball. That's awesome.
Douglas, you remember Lord Harris?
Well done.
And of course you've heard of Plum Warner, former captain of England, and now well known as the Prime Minister of Cricket.
It's a great honour.
A great day for
please.
Winchester. Congratulations.
Very convincing win.
Thank you, my lord.
Pity about that run out. The bowler should have warned him.
I agree with Plum.
I think the conventions of the game are just as important as the rules. If I'd been captain today,
You'd have lost the match.
Ah, Mr. Fender. May I
Nice.
introduce my son? Douglas, this is Mr. Fender, Captain of Surrey.
How do you do?
Well done. Fine batting, good fielding, and a daring tactic.
You don't think it was wrong?
Not at all. I'm Eaton's #1 bat. If you're in town, give me a call. They may not play that way at Middlesex, but we certainly do at Surrey. I like this style. Mrs. Jardi,
Mr. Fender.
I must run.
Or hop.
you should know, Douglas, in spite of what Mr. Fender says, your father and I have never played that way. For some of us, cricket is more than just a game.
Ooh. So many thoughts on that.
Douglas. Come in, come in.
Mr. Fender.
Ah, thank you. Well, I was delighted to get your call. How long have you been in town?
Just 2 days.
Ah, yes. Someone once said that there are
just
only
throws
3
it.
rules to modern life. Never play cards with a man called Doc. Never sleep with anyone whose troubles are worse than your own. And never...
Oh, wow. That just ended abruptly. So that's the first episode right there, at least how it is segmented for me right here. The whole man-catting conversation, I just want to add to that for a second. And I've talked about this a lot, and I've heard a lot of people's different opinions about it. A lot of viewers agree with the dad and what was it, the former cricket captain of England, that it's the spirit of the game to not man-cat. And to give that warning, this or that, or just not do it at all. I come from a different perspective. It's all about winning the game. Not by any means necessary. Not by cheating, not by this or that. But if that's a law in the game, and you're going to try to cheat, it should be just as bad as a runner trying to get that extra closer to the other stumps as it is for the guy to man-cat him. In my opinion, it should be in the spirit of the game to stay at your crease, this or that. But it begs a conversation about spirit of the game, or as we would call it here in the States, the unwritten rules, like in baseball. I am such a fan of baseball. I grew up with baseball. I love baseball the way this guy describes loving cricket, because his life is more than just a game. And for the longest time, I was on the side of the unwritten rules, but I wasn't like convinced, but I was on that side. And then I started seeing guys like Fernando Tatis and other players in baseball go for, it could be show off, could be for the runs, could be for the whatever it is, the win. But it made me think, like, why do we hold these unwritten rules so high, right? The spirit of the game so high. If the out's there, if this is their best hitter and he's going to, be kind of a show off and be off the crease, bye, see you later, right? But teach his own. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section below. Very interesting show. It's hard to get really a feeling in the first 1 out of 7 parts of it. I thought the intro was kind of a little cheesy, but I like getting into it. I like seeing his perspective, Jardine's perspective from any means necessary to get the win and to try to think of the best strategic tactics to get that win. The thing that is interesting here is I would imagine lots of damage from your parents basically abandoning you at the age of 9 and then coming back when you're in, was he supposed to be 17 there? So 8 years, just like, bye, see you later, and then we'll see you again. That would be tough. That would be, he's putting a happy face, he's moving on, but are you really my dad? Are you really my mom? You haven't told me what to do for the last 8 years. I don't know. That would be tough. That would be psychologically tough. Let me know what you think about my reactions. Let me know if you want to see more of these reactions to other episodes. And with all that being said, until next time, adios.